Hey there folks, and welcome back to Star Citizen. Today I'm coming at you from the business hangar to show you the two newest craft that they added to the game as of October 2013. This is the Avenger, and this is the Aurora Legionnaire, or Aurora LN. First we'll take a look at this craft, then we'll take a look at that and we'll compare the differences between that and the regular Aurora. But first, the Avenger. The Avenger is I believe it's an ex-police interceptor. It comes with two underwing Class 1 mounts, one nose-mounted Class 1 mount, and it also comes with two underwing Class 3 mounts. And right now it just looks like the Class 3 mount is a fuel tank, but you can presumably add missiles and bombs as well. And let's take a look at the cockpit first. Just gotta walk up the stairs. There's no fancy staircase or anything like the 300 series. So, and the cockpit just opens like a regular, I suppose, jet fighter would open. And we have our thrusters. And it doesn't say you can't walk on the wings, so I'm gonna walk on the wings. Alright, that's enough of that. Let's take a look at the cockpit. And the canopy will close. It will close. Yep, there we go. It looks like the screens just have placeholder static textures for the moment, but I'm sure they will be fully implemented in the game. And it doesn't look like there's a heads-up display either, which might be useful or it might not be. I guess we'll see. And as far as your controls go, you have W and S for your pitch, A and D for your roll. However, Q and E, which should be your yaw, don't really do anything. I don't know if that's because this craft doesn't have a yaw, or maybe they just didn't complete the animations yet, which is probably the more likely of the scenario, or more likely of the case, because this is still very pre-alpha. Alright, we'll take a look at the top of the craft. We look like we have two little proby node things here. They might be radar or sensors or communication array or something. And then over here we have our hydrogen scoops for our reactor and our engine. A lot of cool textures and details up here. They do a terrific job with this. Their modeler deserves a... They deserve a raise, because this is just fantastic work. And then looks like there's more intakes on the side here. And then you can also see the cool little green lights along the edges of the wings. And then there's a red light along the back of the wing. And then you can see the thrusters. And our maneuver jets, which there should be 8 of them. And I don't know if I showed you this before, but this is the undermounted wing. Just looks like a cannon of some sort, small cannon. It might be a laser, I'm not entirely sure. But judging by the fact that this gun also looks like a cannon of some sort, like a chain cannon, like the thing that's on the front of an A-10 Warthog. Kind of something like that. I don't know, it looks very cool. And it looks like it is articulated, so you might be able to keep firing while still heading on your current vector. So that's kind of cool. And what made me get this craft is the fact that it has 10 tons of storage in the back. I plan on being sort of a merchant, and this craft seemed like an upgrade from my current one, because it has a much larger cargo bay, one that you can actually get into. However, when you're in it, you're kind of hunched over. Anyhow, we also have these hoses coming off the wall. Perhaps they're for refueling your ship, or maybe it's for plugging into the cargo if the cargo needs electricity or some sort of fluid or something. Perhaps that's for the cargo, perhaps it's not. Maybe we'll find out later. Anyhow, you can close that. Alright, let's take a look at the Aurora Legionnaire. First thing you can tell, it does have a different color scheme. It's green and gold or green and yellow. And it has a cool little sideways chevron on these much larger intakes. Also, the guns are much larger. The two guns down there are much larger, and it has 2 more mounting points up there for, looks like, Class 1 weapons, which are the same as these guns, looks like. Yep. And then also there's the Class 3 weapons node on top, which looks like just some heat-seeking missiles are on top at the moment. Also, on top of the craft, you can see a much larger scoop. It's for the much larger reactor core. And the thruster is also much bigger. And we'll actually compare the difference in a little bit with the other Aurora, the Aurora MR that's sitting in the corner over there. Let's quick open this up. The inside isn't too terribly much different, other than the seat, which is a comfy leather now instead of metal. Still same textures for the display panels. I do believe the controls are still the same with W, S, pitch, roll, A, D, Q, and E as your yaw. So that's pretty much the same. One other thing to note in this craft is the sleeping bays. Well, the sleeping bay is the same, but the view out of it is different. Let's take a look. As you can see, the windows are blocked by the massive reactor that you have. So no longer will you have a nice pretty view out of these windows, but I guess that's a trade-off for having a much better reactor, a much better engine, and a lot of weapons. And this particular Aurora, I decided to get it because it has a lot more weapons on it. I don't really want to use them offensively, but it might make somebody think twice before deciding to attack it. Especially when there are much squishier targets to attack. And I plan on sticking a Store-All Mini or a larger Store-All underneath for doing some significant commerce, hopefully. And that's the same idea with this. They should both be able to hold 10 tons of cargo. When fully upgraded, I think that can hold 10 tons, and this can hold 10 tons as is, which is nice. And this one, I believe you can only put a Store-All Mini on it, which is 5 or 8 tons of cargo. And as you can see, much smaller scoops, and you can actually see inside of here. And there's no scoop on top, no guns on top, no Class 3 mount. Well, the Class 3 mount is there, there's just nothing on it. The color scheme's a bit different, and the thruster is different as well. And we'll go inside just to take a look at the difference. I'm not going to sit down on the seat because you can kind of see it there. It's metal with a little bit of padding on it. However, other than that, the interior is pretty much the same. And if you want to see what the inside of that looks like, you can go look at my other Star Citizen video that I put out, where I did an in-depth tour of this and the 315p. So, Also, these guns are smaller. I don't know if I mentioned that already. So that's it for the differences. There's one other thing that they added. And we'll quick wander our way over there. There we go, first person view. As you can see, we're in a space suit. Pretty fancy looking. And you can actually switch skins now. And there we go. We look like perhaps some sort of bounty hunter or merchant trader or something. And as you can see, there's actually a gun on his leg, or on his foot. So, yeah, it's pretty cool. I do indeed like this skin. It's much more my style. I don't have a fancy ship, so I don't think my person should be that fancy. Anyhow, that's about it for this episode. If you have any questions or comments, make sure to leave them in the comment section below. And that'll be it. We'll see you guys next time.